Hello everyone. As the title of this video suggests, this is an absolute beginner's guide to going to Disney World, Florida in Orlando. So if you've been before, if you have even a rough idea of what to expect, then this video is not for you. We've been a good few times, and when we come back, you know, you speak to people and it comes up in conversation. What have you been doing? Blah blah. Oh, I was just at Disney. And it's usually like, oh, I've been, or I'd love to go. And the people who would love to go, you sometimes end up in a conversation where it's like, oh, I'd love to go to Disney World, you know, and see Harry Potter. Like, that doesn't happen. That it's not possible. I'd love to go to Disney World and go on Velocicoaster. You know, it's so complicated, and you don't even want to get involved in the conversation. You don't want to start getting involved in conversation because you just go down this massive, you know, Orlando rabbit hole, and there's just too much involved. So to put it into perspective for anyone who hasn't been, who wants to go, and who wants to get a real basic kind of overview of how to kind of mind map it in your head, I suppose, as a real landing point, we have this, and I think it's the easiest way to explain it. So Disney, well, Florida looks kind of something like this. That's a kind of real basic map of Florida. And right here, right in the middle, there's a 40 in Central Florida. There's a 40 by 40 mile place that was bought by Disney, and that is Disney World. That's Disney. Right here. That is Disney World, not Disneyland. Because when you start getting into it, you speak to people who've been to Disney and you call Florida, Orlando, Disney World, you call it Disneyland, and they're going to look at you funny because they don't like it. Disneyland is in Paris. And there's many Disneys throughout the world, but I suppose if you're in the UK, that's the two that you can go to. There's one in California as well, but Disney World is what we're talking about here. in Disney, you have four major parks, and you have two water parks. You also have other things, but we'll focus on the parks themselves. The four parks are the main one, I suppose, in everyone's head when you think of Disney World, is Magic Kingdom. That's where Cinderella's castle is. You then have Hollywood Studios. You have Epcot. And you have Animal Kingdom. Those are the four main parks in Disney. And then you have the water parks, yeah. There's two different water parks. Disney's Blizzard Beach. And you have Typhoon Lagoon. Yeah, we'll go into that later on maybe. So the four parks and the two water parks. You also have in Central Florida an area owned by, very close by, owned by Universal, and this is Universal. So you go to Florida for a holiday, you're going to, the most likely you're going to split between these two places, and they don't work together. They're not in any way, shape or form together. They're completely separate entities. And Universal consists of two main parks. At the moment, there's actually another one about to open next year. This is 2024. Epic Universal's opening in 2025, which is a whole separate thing again. But Universal and Disney, two separate entities. And Universal is very, very straightforward, really easy to understand. You have Islands of Adventure, yeah, and right beside it, you have Universal Studios. Two parks right beside each other. You can walk out of one and walk into the other, and you can also go between them by the Harry Potter, through the Harry Potter lands, which is a really good way to do it. So you decide that you're going to Disney, you're going to Florida. You can either go Disney, or you can go to Universal, or what most people do is a kind of hybrid of the two. And the parks themselves, if you have these maps, which aren't available unless you're over there, make things a lot easier. So that's actually in order of my preferences. Maybe not Magic Kingdom. Well, for the first time you go, Magic Kingdom definitely, but Hollywood Studios is great. So Magic Kingdom, each park, the parks are huge. Each park has separate lands inside. So if you look at the map, Frontierland, Fantasyland, Liberty Square, Main Street, Tomorrowland, and down here's the entrance. All the rides are listed here for each section of the park. And it'll give you, there's Adventureland. It'll tell you like height requirements and things if you've got children. It'll tell you where the toilets are, where the food places are for eating. Eating's a huge part of going to Florida. I don't think you can over plan from going to Florida. I just don't think it's possible. The more you plan, the better your holiday's going to be. It's not a relaxing holiday, but it's a fantastic holiday. So these maps really help you. They give you all the kind of do's and don'ts and stuff as well. What you can do in the parks, what you can't do. Hollywood Studios. The first time we went, we stayed in Riverside, Port Lanes Riverside, and we ate out breakfast, lunch and dinner. So there's your map of Hollywood Studios. Again, gives you all the attractions and all the different locations. We ate out breakfast, lunch and dinner for 16 days, and we spent £4,000 on food. That was for 5 hours, 3 adults, my wife, my mum, me and my 2 children. We were £4,000 on food. So since then, I mean, we budgeted for it and it was great, but we do not do that anymore. But that's a whole separate thing again. Like, you really need to look at where you're staying, what's round about you, what's best for you. So here's Epcot. That's one with the huge big golf ball type thing. Another fabulous park. Some really good rides at Epcot, Guardians of the Galaxy, Mission Space. All the different worlds. And it gives you all the different food available, quick service, sit down, meals. Soarin', that's another popular one at Epcot. But yeah, people go to Disney and Universal for a variety of things as well. Like for me, it's like the rides and the experience, but you go there and there's people who, you know, practically don't even go on the rides. They just want to do character meets. They just want to go to the merchandise shops or the merch shops, get signatures in books, like get food that's only available for a certain amount of time. Like there's such a variety of reasons. And Animal Kingdom is a bit of an entity to itself. It's somewhere between. It's not quite a theme park. It's somewhere between a theme park and, I don't know, a zoo, a safari park. There is a massive safari that you can go on. Really good rides at Animal Kingdom as well. Not as much as anywhere else though, but they do have really good rides. Flight of Passage is a great ride. Actually, Dinosaurs is a really underrated ride, I thought. Some good dining there as well, but the dining is so expensive. We had, where did we eat again? We ate at, let me see if it's mentioned. I don't see it. We ate at, where was it? It's like a kind of, it was in the Africa section, I'm sure. Where is it? Tuskers. We ate at Tuskers, which is a character meet. And we were 300 and, I think it's like $380 all in for lunch. It was not worth it. Like, in any way, shape or form was it worth it. You know, you really need to look at the menus, you need to look at the pricing before you book these types of things. For some people maybe that is worth it, but it definitely wasn't worth it for us. So yeah, there's lots of good water rides and things as well that aren't in the water parks. Let's see. Animal Kingdom's probably my least favourite park. Expedition Everest's another good ride, but Animal Kingdom, a lot of people love it. I like it, and I'll always go to Animal Kingdom, but it's not. It's not really the star attraction for me. So that's your 4 for Disney. So you're going to Disney World, that's what you're paying for. The price of tickets for Disney are expensive, extremely expensive. Universal is not as bad as Disney pricing wise, but this new park that's opening up, Epic Universe, who knows if that's going to change or not, but you are getting a lot more, like Super Nintendo World, How to Train Your Dragon, Monsters Land. So this Universal, separate entity completely, and this is where you're going to get your Harry Potter, this is where you're going to Diagon Alley, this is where you're going to Hogsmeade, this is where you're getting Velocicoaster, this is where you're going to where all the comic book places like Hulk, the kind of Marvel section, Marvel Superheroes Land, and it's a lot simpler as well. Like people talk about the Disney bubble. The Disney bubble is a real thing that is almost tangible when you're there. Everything that you're just completely immersed in Disney, completely immersed in it. It's like you get lifted and laid. Put it that way. If you stay on site in a Disney hotel, you are going to have a great time. There's no doubt about it. and there's so many different types of hotel and things that they offer. So there are things like the Skyliner, which will take you to and from different hotels and parks. You stay at somewhere like Pop Century, you get that free of charge, takes you to Epcot, takes you to Hollywood Studios, and it's just a nice time as well. It's a great way to travel between the parks. But that's, I mean, travelling from park to park, from your hotel to a park, is a whole nother thing on its own. This is just basic Disney, Universal, the differences between the two. Disney, I've got things like lightning lanes, which was the old fast pass. Disney, you need to be on your phone the whole day. If you want to do quick service, if you want to order food, you need to be on your phone. If you want to book a lightning lane, you need to be on your phone. If you want to use Genie or Genie Plus, you need to be on your phone, and I find it's really annoying. Whereas Universal, when we go to Universal, they have a lightning lane is where you get to jump the queue basically. There's a 2-tier system. Actually, there is a 3-tier system. There's a VIP thing, but mainly it's 2. There's your normal line, and then you've got your lightning lane line. So you pay extra. You've already paid for your tickets. You pay extra for a lightning lane, and you can get on rides quicker than anyone else can. And we tend to do that. It is a lot of money more, and I kind of begrudge it a bit, but it does make a huge difference. Whereas at Universal, you get what's called an express pass. You get your express pass for the day. You can use it at either of these 2 parks, Universal Studios or Islands of Adventure, and you're on most of the rides qualify under these things. So your Hulk, Velocicoaster's on it now. Hagrid's is not at the moment, but another great ride. And it's basically just a wee ticket. You just scan it. You don't need to book it. You don't need to get a lane. You don't need to get a time to come back. This is all Disney stuff. It's so complicated with Disney, like needlessly complicated. Universal give you a ticket for your express pass. Bang, that's you for the full day. Re-ride multiple times on the same ride, you know, and it's just so much easier. So you want to go to Florida, you want to go to Orlando, you want to go to the parks, two separate entities. You've got Universal and Magic Kingdom. They are very close to each other. They're about $20 on an Uber apart. Both absolutely fantastic in their own ways, like life-changing holiday, especially if you've got kids. But aye, then there's lots of differences between the two, but this is the make-up of your holiday. If you're going with children, or if you want to get into the parks, you're going to be going here and here. Universal always simplify things, I find. Dead easy. Whereas Disney, not really. Quite far from it, actually. So I hope that's at least helpful to a couple of people who are thinking about going to Disney. It is for the absolute beginners, people who, you know, have never even thought of it before. It's never occurred to them. And you know, there's plenty of great vloggers out there who have covered, you know, all the topics. Loads of good UK based people and American. Tim Tracker, Adam Hatton, David Nean, like all fantastic vloggers, and they'll show you things in the park. When I'm there, you know, I've got my 2 children, and there's no vlogging to be done for me, to be honest, if you're going to enjoy the experience. Hopefully one day maybe, but yeah, there's plenty of information out there. There's plenty of people who will show you around the parks. There's plenty of, you know, detailed analysis of every facet of what you can do. But I just thought, I'm always having to have this conversation, you know. I'm going to Disney and I'm going to go and see Harry Potter Land. Yeah, ultimately that's not what you're not going to do. You would hate to go you know, book your holiday and turn up and be disappointed and, oh, wait a minute, this is a whole, you know, a whole different ball game. We didn't know this before we went. Two separate entities. Do your research. You can't overplan for Florida. You just can't be done. And if you are going on holiday, hope you have a great time. You will definitely if you're going here. Make the most of it. Get a plan together. And go and have a ball. Okay, thank you.